How you guys doing today? How many guys we got in here? 94. That's plenty to kick off this live stream.
Oh yeah.
John and I have not talked much about the Oscars just yet, but I watched the whole thing. I participated. I wasn't feeling well yesterday, but then I ended up going to a little gathering. Participated in an Oscar ballot raffle. $5 a pot. I won 20 out of 24 predictions I got correct. And there are still 3 people who haven't paid up yet. So if you're watching, Julie, Carl, and one other person whose name I have forgotten, I am sorry. You owe me some money.
Boo.
You owe me $15 right now. Damn it. Damn it. John.
Dang it.
All right. So, all right. What'd you guys think of the Oscars? How you guys doing? How's everyone? There's a good amount of people here.
Yeah, how you guys
John's
feeling?
not paying attention at all to what's going on. He just clicks around constantly.
I am trying to rig up some settings.
Of course, I knew that Joaquin Phoenix will win. You know, the first big surprise of the night for me was when the music montage was going. And they were like cutting around. And first off, I really liked the way the editors actually handled so much of the way they presented awards or tributes and whatnot, especially for like the actors. Instead of showing like some random little scene, they did kind of like when a YouTube editor does like a tribute video. Yeah, they did that for the actors and stuff. And then when we were in the music one, I remember when they were doing the Eminem, when Eminem came up for 8 Mile, I was like, they're spending a lot of time on Eminem's 8 Mile right here. And then I was with the group. I'm like, wait a minute, is Eminem going to perform? Is he going to perform? What the hell?
Once those strings set in, you know.
And then Eminem started performing. And I was like, this is random and weird. There were 2 very strange things about Eminem's performance. One,
Beard's weird.
One was the fact that the crowd, the way they were all like dancing along, just 90%, mainly the white people, did not look very comfortable when they were dancing to Eminem. It actually looked very strange. And 2, the other weird thing that I thought about it was there was several performances of music, quite a lot, and yet the crowd seemed the absolute most into Eminem's Lose Yourself throughout the night. And I was excited because even though I thought it was a little weird placement, I was still excited because Eminem was not there to accept his Oscar for 8 Mile, however many years ago that was. But then here he is now performing that song with his, you know how some white people have like that black friend who they're like, I'm not racist, I got a black friend. Here he is. Eminem has that with Elton John. And Elton John was there that day to say he's not homophobic. He tries to say he's not homophobic.
Well, Elton, he called him Uncle
I got my
Elton.
Uncle Elton right here. See, I'm not gay. Elton, come here. Let's hug right now.
All those lyrics are forgiven.
You know? Something like that.
Eminem.
Carter. Okay. Anyone who super chats is going to get this awesome megaphone chat right here. Eminem. Oh, John, flash this thing on. You like to play so many in with the buttons.
Eminem
should have came out like, guess who's back again. Shady's back. Hello, Frank.
That would have been neat. You're right at Carter Lovejoy. Thanks for the super chat, by the way.
See, I feel like the Academy heard Kamikaze and then heard Music to Be Murdered By, and they were like, man, we really got to stop snubbing Eminem. He's mad at us. We got to make it up to him. We don't want beef.
Yeah.
They felt called out, you know.
Well, let's start going over some of these actual Oscar winners here. I thought Brad Pitt gave a great speech. Yeah. I loved his ending note of this really is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I knew Quentin Tarantino wasn't going to win for director or script.
Anything else.
But you know that when Brad Pitt was talking about him, he was like, Tarantino's smile throughout the night, I thought was so interesting. He's like a Disney villain.
Yeah, he like points.
He's got the pointed nose
down. Yeah, and he's already got such an angular face.
Yeah,
yeah, he does look like weird. It's like I feel like he's trying to just like pay attention and keep his head down. But yeah, he looks devious.
Yeah,
and he gets called out a lot through the night by different people, like just referencing him and stuff. So.
Yeah, Scorsese was funny to me. My favorite presenter bit. There's some great presenter bits. I like Steve Martin and Chris Rock's presenter bit.
Yeah, they were fun.
But my favorite one would actually have to go to Kristen Wiig and Maya Rudolph, because their bit was so awkward. But I thought it was brilliant. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious.
Acting.
And I loved, that's when I really noticed how it hit me with Scorsese in that moment of his energy of the night. It hit me on two things. One, Scorsese's very tired, and you could see when they first cut to him, he looked like disinterested in the bit. But once he realized the camera was on him, he started like laughing hysterically. I'm like, I can't tell if this is genuine. And two, Oscars are the Oscar crowd is really the ultimate reaction episode of all time.
Oh yeah. If you want to see your favorite celebrities react to things. Yes. And also, I mean, not always in the most flattering way.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to see your favorite celebrity become a meme like Brendan Fraser or whoever else, you know.
Yeah.
Rob.
Oh.
Very disappointed. Let's
Whoa,
get that megaphone. Let me try that. Okay,
we're gonna do a different setting.
We're gonna do a different one. Yeah. Yeah, we can't use the same one.
I am very,
Thank you for this. Is a very masculine one.
I'm very disappointed. Bracket didn't win more.
That you could understand that.
Well, you see, when I was doing my Oscar ballot, there's a couple of ones I did not, because I only got 20 out of 24, and there was a couple of them that I was like, okay, I'm doing this based off who I think will win, not who I think should win. And, and Jojo Rabbit was one that I definitely thought should have won more. Like Brad Pitt's award, I was just talking with the group beforehand going, he's going to win. It's kind of a legacy award. All the other nominees he has have already won an Oscar before. And I think Brad Pitt's great in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think he's the best one of the ones who are nominated. I would have definitely gone with Pacino or Pesci over Brad Pitt in terms of performance. But it just seemed like he was going to win. And all things considered, I am happy for the guy.
Yeah,
I'm just happy he won. Yeah,
I'm okay with it, partly because even though, it seems like for Brad Pitt especially, that's probably not a hard role to tap into, you know, and to embody. At the same time, he is one of the characters who I think has stayed in the cultural, you know, zeitgeist and in the atmosphere for so long since that movie came out. Like, parts of that movie have stayed alive since it dropped, and that's definitely been one that's sort of touched everybody. And that was a big criterion I started to look at when making these picks, is I was like, okay, what has the talk, like how far is the talk about each of these movies reached? And of that reach, how much of that is uniformly positive versus how much is debatable?
Right.
And so that was like, I felt like this was the one year where I was like, the 4 acting awards, I have no doubts in my mind about.
Oh yeah, easily.
Everything else, I'm gonna play the politics game and see how far that gets me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to just like try to save the best for last here. When Parasite, I was like, okay, Parasite's 100% gonna win Best Original Screenplay. I had no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I was talking with the group going, I can't tell if it's gonna win for Best Director. I really can't tell if it's gonna be Sam Mendes or Bong Joon-ho. And well, when Bong, so but I was like going back and forth on myself on this one. I ultimately put down Sam Mendes for director and 1917 for best picture. Those were the two I put down.
No,
but
I did not put 1917 for best picture.
You put Parasite?
I called that shit.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But I messed myself up. Sorry.
Who cares? It's a live stream, I swear.
I messed up because in a different category because I did that.
Yeah. So when he won for best director, though, I didn't care that I lost the vote. I was like, I want to lose this one. Yeah. This is one I'm hoping for. And it did take me by surprise. And Bong Joon-ho is just such a sweet. Can we just talk about what a sweetheart Bong Joon-ho is? He clearly only had like a couple speeches prepared. He knew he would win script and he knew he would win best foreign film. If anything, he knew for sure best foreign film. When he did the director one, the way sometimes when people say like, and to everyone I'm nominated with in this category, sometimes not all the time, but sometimes it sounds like they're just saying that because it's the right thing to say.
Or sometimes you can tell that they only meant it to half the category.
Yeah. But the way he gave tribute to directors like Scorsese,
Tarantino, who's like a friend,
and then the other guys.
Todd Phillips.
Road Trip was the most influential movie I had ever seen.
Filming. Yeah, it's a little bit like, this is the most defining film of Seinfeld's career so far.
But even when they won Best Picture, we all flipped out, and we were so happy that Parasite won, because out of all the nominees, that surprised me, just because the way the voters work for the Academy, it's like you can just see it by the limited amount of things that were overall nominated, that it's not as wide ranging of a selection process as something like the Golden Globes. So when they won, I thought that was the best choice. It was kind of not surprising in the sense that I don't think it's the best, as I did think it was the best movie out of those ones that are nominated. I think it's just a magical achievement, especially for South Korea too. Bong Joon-ho, so many people. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, breaking records left and right, because I feel like, I think that's the first, they said it's the first international foreign language film to win the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
And Taika Ytd was the first, indigenous Maori person to win as well.
Taika, what did you guys think of Taika Ytd speech? I thought Taika Ytd speech was hysterical.
I thought it was.
Don't be heavy.
Yeah. And I couldn't tell if he was like, kind of awestruck and nervous, or if he'd had a few drinks, or both.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, it seemed like he was nervous and kind of slipping some of his words.
If you guys haven't seen the press interview speech post Oscar win, that is also that's funnier than the speech itself. He is awesome in that. So a lot of people are asking, we will talk about Joaquin Phoenix in a bit, but a lot of people, we are reading the chat. Don't worry. We just want to, get through the things we want to talk about. There was someone super chatted something, didn't there? We got a megaphone to shout them out really quick.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Here we go. Speaking of Fun Me, oh hey Fun Me, how's it going?
Fun Me Productions, what's up?
Yeah.
We agree. Thank you, Fun Me. So, Endgame getting snubbed. I have not seen a breakdown on the visual effects for 1917. Because we actually just shot a reaction to the Corridor Crew Avengers Endgame VFX artist react video that will be going up tomorrow. And I mean, I've been saying I think it's the one that deserves to win. And I did vote 1917 will win. And sure enough, it did. Just because that was a film where I couldn't tell when it was visual effects. It's like, sure, there's a lot of practical effects in there, but there's a lot they probably had to hide in terms of cutting and stuff.
Erase and build.
Yeah.
Like when they showed the clip of the VFX for that movie, there were things where I was like, wow, that's a VFX shot. I had no idea. I thought that was just a set or a location. So I do feel like there is something to be said for the invisibility going to serve that movie. Again, it's weird because Endgame has such breadth of effects. Like there's so many complex setups, so many characters that are either partially or fully CGI, mocap. Like every breakthrough I feel like we've been using up until now got used in that movie. So yeah, it is kind of odd, and I guess it comes down to I think there is something special about that CG for 1917, but at the same time, I totally get why anybody would not be happy about that.
I think Endgame absolutely deserved to win. Because I think the issue that a movie like Endgame runs into is that there's so many things in there that are obviously CGI, and then it kind of comes down to a toss-up of I can tell, you can still tell this is CGI. Like most of that finale battle, you're like, this is most of this is even though it's amazing CGI, you can still tell it's CGI. And I mean, for that argument, that's like the only argument I got that someone might use against Endgame, because there's still so much in that movie that you have no idea, unless you've watched videos and breakdowns, that you really don't know is actually CGI. And I think I'm more drawn to the imagination. There's an argument to be made that I've heard practical effects, makeup artists talk about, VFX artists talk about, and I've seen a few people comment here in the chat actually about how there's, sometimes there's one thing to do like a completely imagination, avatar-driven visual effects, and then there's another element of trying to bring something to real life where you can't even tell there's CGI, even though there's not a lot of CGI. The whole point is you're not supposed to be able to tell. Like a good editor, you're not supposed to draw eye to it or something. I still lean more heavily, way more towards, and I'm not just saying this to pander towards the Endgame fans and the comic book fans. I really mean it. I've been fighting for it. That Endgame is the one with the most imagination and a big part of what made that movie such a success and believable still, even though you could tell it was CGI, what made it believable was how great. And a bunch of other things, but the visual effects needed to be believable, and it was. All right.
Yeah, and it's truly a vis effects heavy movie. So you know that like without all those artists and all those houses, that movie would not like you could have achieved a 1917 maybe in a slightly different way, but you know without that CGI. Whereas like Avengers Endgame, like the CG people are part of the core engine of that movie being a reality. So in that way, I definitely feel you there. And one of the most memorable villains of the past few years, Thanos, is a pretty impressive creation unto himself, you know?
We got a couple of super chats here that are going to segue into the big topic, one of the big topics.
Aaron White.
Megaphone. Love y'all, bros. Finish the speech now.
Thanks, Aaron White.
Dude, Ryman.
And then John.
Oh, here we go.
I thought the Joker should have won more.
I think Joker won the right award.
I think it won exactly what it ought to have won.
Those were the two awards it won were the ones that I went, this is what it should win for, and I'm happy they won for them. Like the song, one of the things in Joker when I was watching that movie was, man, this music is incredible. And I think a lot of people walked out talking about how great that music was. And so much of the music did drive Todd Phillips's direction because the music was composed beforehand.
And Joaquin's performance.
And
like
that
famous,
was all right. No.
that like iconic dance scene in the bathroom was like done to the music and all that stuff, you know.
And Joaquin Phoenix is, and I don't remember when we said it, but there was some video where I was talking about it recently. I love Joaquin Phoenix's, you know, potent, important speeches he's been making. I know that's not for everyone, and I feel like Ricky Gervais clowning on celebrities giving political speeches has only made the argument against Joaquin Phoenix doing those kind of things even worse. But I loved his Golden Globe speech, and I loved his BAFTA speech especially.
Yeah.
This speech, he was like, this is the big one. This is the last one. So I'm going to go the most personal. This is not going to be
the
broad at all.
return of the king of Oscar speeches right now.
I'm about to tell y'all, you got to be freaking vegetarian, damn it. You got to be not even vegetarian. You got to be fucking vegan today. You're all going to feel guilty for eating all the meat you've had all day.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say that of all the political speeches, I do like the tone that he takes with his, and the articulation is it's weird. I don't know, because I know some people do have speech writers, and I don't know if he just comes up with these things off the dome because his like awkward energy. It really seems like he doesn't feel comfortable saying these things, but he feels like he has to. And I do appreciate his sentiments.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I actually loved everything he had. I've said this several times in the past month. Like, I've been eating significantly less. I've always contemplated it, not always, but for like the past like 2 years, I've been thinking, should I try doing that whole like not eating meat once a week thing? And I've done at least half the days of 2020 has been around with no meat. And a big final push for me was Joaquin Phoenix's Golden Globes just mention about the necessity for the environment and stuff of why to do it. Now, I felt like his Oscar speech would definitely trigger some people. Just because he's getting, you know, environmental, animal rights activists, political in that spectrum. It's like people. One part of I will say though, as much as I loved his speech, one part of me was like, you really should thank Todd Phillips. That's the one person I think you ought to thank. Like, I think I think you should say everything you had to say. His last note when he quoted River Phoenix was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a moment.
That was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
There was that one part of me. I'm like, I don't care to hear you ramble off a bunch of thank yous. I still think you should have said thank you to Todd Phillips, though. You know? Like,
I think that would have been appropriate, especially because like they just seem like the two people at the center of that.
And I will say too that his speech, I don't think is going to influence most people, like more than 99% of people who watch the Oscars. I don't think it's going to change a single opinion.
And it's already not a huge pool of the population who watches the Oscars anyway.
So with that in mind, though, I feel like if he can affect even just one person, two people, like me being an example of cutting back significantly, I really think that's all that matters. It's not about changing the minds of millions of people. And I'm like, I didn't decide to go vegan after it, but there is a sense of awareness that it's like, all right, if you're not cool with him talking political, fine. For me, it's not an issue because I don't think there's anything wrong with there's nothing wrong with what he's saying. Some people just get mad at the fact that he's doing it, but no one's really mad. Some people are like, where's the evidence to back this up? There's plenty of evidence, first off. And B, I personally don't take any gripe with him talking about those kind of things. I'm like, it's more interesting than a bunch of thank yous to a bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I don't know. I come down on the sympathetic side of, well, it's your moment. You don't know when you're going to ever have an opportunity to stand on that stage again. And so in that moment, if it's really that important to you, I respect that, you know? Yeah. And the tone of his speech, I think, mostly made me think of the value in just good articulation, I guess, because it's funny. The political Oscar speech has become such a thing. It's the thing we expect every year. Who's going to do it and what's it going to be about? And I feel like a lot of those can amount to preaching to the choir. Like you said, you don't know really who you're going to reach. But I do feel like there is something to be said for the intangible lightning in a bottle thing that is the right articulation. And I thought the way he articulated his speech did a decent job not being too antagonistic, recognizing his own sort of misdeeds, and being sort of here's like a big picture that we all can kind of look at it from. And I feel like, you know, again, is it going to impact a huge change? Probably not, but I feel like it could, just a slight percentage more than a lot of others, perhaps, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But all things considered, yeah, I'm really happy he won. He fucking deserved it. He really did.
He did, man.
Undoubtedly deserved the award.
Yeah.
Let him say whatever he wants. So on the other side,
you know,
Best
what else?
Actress award.
Wait. But we got a hot take here right now because Neil Childs thinks that
Taron Egerton deserved an Oscar nomination.
And that goes to support my point of why. Thank you, Neil, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you very
appreciate
much.
it. Why I don't like why I thought the Academy probably would have voted for something like Parasite, because their scope of viewing is much more limited than something like the Golden Globes.
Yeah, well, and you're never going to get all the worthwhile performances in, you know, unfortunately, because I loved that movie this year.
And then to wrap up a little bit of Joker talk, I'm sure it'll come back around because it's this audience. Oh,
Watch this channel for 5 years. Joker served.
Thank you, Josh
Thank
Wren.
you for watching the
I like your
channel.
last name, Wren. Like, wait, no, well, hold on. Yeah. Whatever, I'm not doing it right.
Or like Ren from Corridor Crew.
So, now the other Oscar win from acting,
Renee
Zellweger,
yes,
was a fascinating one. That's for sure.
That was a great like off-road moment where I was like, I don't know exactly where we're going. I don't know when it's going to end, but I am wrapped with attention.
I have a complete theory here. There's all theory, no evidence to support this. Joaquin Phoenix. They let Joaquin. They let
Wacky Phoenix.
They let Joaquin Phoenix talk for 4.5 minutes or something. So they were like, well, shit, we got to let Renee Zellweger talk then, right? Because we're going to look terrible if we.
She just got back.
You know what I loved about, really quick, I'm going to go back to Renee Zellweger in a second. What I loved about what Chris Rock, what some of the presenters were talking about. The Oscars seem to be doing this thing of we're highlighting people of color, we're highlighting women, yet they don't really highlight them in the nominations. That's kind of strange. And
I mean, and in a lot of the films that get greenlit, although that is changing.
But the black people who won for the Hair Love, that one, I love what they said about cartoons, though. Of how that's the first thing we watch when we're younger, so it's important to make great animated movies, and that's something I never thought of. So that was a beautiful statement.
Yeah, and that's a genre that a medium that really struggles for legitimacy, especially among adults.
So there was Renee Zellweger's speech. We were with a crowd, and I mean a little group, and all of us were like, "What what is she talking about? Where is she going? I'm not, because I actually listened to the Hollywood Roundtable with all the actresses, and I thought she was very well spoken. I love everything she had to say, but in that speech, I was like, I think they want to cut her off, but they're not going to, and I feel like she's just trying to say something as important or pivotal as something like Joaquin Phoenix. That's just the way it read to me.
Yeah, I at one point thought of that too. I was like, are you trying to make a moment out of this that's bigger than just it being your moment, you know? And yeah, I had so many feelings and thoughts during that speech. I was really sitting there like, I have no idea where and when this is going. And I wonder too, because like the Golden Globe seems to be a slightly more loose. Everyone's like, you're looking at everyone at a dinner table eating and drinking, so you can tell everyone's drunk. Whereas at the Academy Awards, I start to wonder like who's just anxious or who is a little loopy. And I feel like there's like at both award shows, at least I haven't seen the roundtable, but Renee Zellweger has appeared in just a way where I'm like, I can't tell what, but something is not quite all here, and I don't know what it is. I hope you're okay.
She's paid a lot of good money for whatever Botox or surgery she's gotten, because her face, I was
her
like,
face is,
I would see the Judy Garland clips.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, it's great makeup. I'm like, oh wait, that's just kind of her face right now. Jeez,
smooth.
What happened there?
There are no wrinkles there.
Yeah. But dude, and speaking of women, when Brie Larson and I thought it was actually pretty cool to see Cat Marvel and Wonder Woman on the same stage. I thought that was neat. One is significantly more loved as a personality than the other, but then Sigourney Weaver was with them, and I never thought to lump her in that category with them, but I totally think she deserves it. When I saw that visual, it's like, yeah, that totally works because of who fucking Sigourney Weaver is, and Sigourney Weaver looks great.
Oh yeah,
damn, she's still hot.
Yeah, she's kicking.
She's
it, man.
still hot.
She's still got it, man. She's never gonna not be amazing.
I was really impressed.
Yeah,
wow, how hot she looks.
Yeah, look at that. Let's make another Alien movie and bring her back.
Okay.
Oh, Daniel Travis. We got another hot moment for this.
Well, Daniel Travis, thank you. I would say that
they both won Best Actor, so they're tied.
You know, what's funny is De Niro, who wasn't nominated for anything.
I know. I feel like he got lost in the movie he helped jumpstart.
Irishman and Joker, two highly talked about Oscar-nominated films. Not one nomination for the guy, but it was similar situation, but kind of in reverse order of Vito Corleone won for Best Leading Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Brando, De Niro, and now Joaquin. But it's not the same thing because they're two very different Jokers. So to answer your question, Daniel, I feel like in terms of the Joker and like from comics and stuff and being brought to life, I would say Heath Ledger is the best Joker. Joaquin is definitely the more heavy, emotional, dramatic pathos performance.
Well, and one thing you do have to keep in mind is that Heath, you know, in that movie is very much a supporting role, a great supporting role, but a supporting role, whereas, you know, Joaquin is like every frame except a couple of Joker, you know.
Yeah. Believe it or not, guys, we are paying attention to the chat, and I just want to say Epic Voice Guy is a damn great guy. All right? I just want to say that really fast. All right, so what else is on the list? What other things really stood out to you guys? I pick up what you guys are talking about little by little, and then I go into here. Safety Bros, I feel, you know what? I haven't seen.
They won at the Independent Spirits.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I haven't seen their speech yet. I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, but I watched Adam Sandler's speech. That is one of the greatest acceptance speeches ever. If you have not heard, Jason Dolan is the one who sent that to me. And I was like, all right. Yeah, that is one of the best acceptance speeches ever. Hysterical stuff. If you guys haven't heard, you don't need to watch Uncut Gems. If you, I mean, you probably should, and I should. But I will say that is one of the best acceptance speeches ever. You guys gotta go check that out.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so adapted screenplay, Jojo Rabbit. I'm glad that won. Thought it was brilliant. We all know that.
Love the JoJo.
Original song. got that right. I won. I honestly
Oh,
didn't even
yeah.
realize that was an original song until I saw it on this nomination list. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's probably going to win, though. So I put that down.
Yeah. I was happy Rocket Man at least got one thing.
Yes.
Because people have talked about that too, is that maybe Rocket Man's chances got kneecapped by the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody did everything it did last year.
Oh, and production design. Well, that was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yes, it was.
I did not get that correct.
Yeah.
I that was the one I was leaning towards, but someone talked me out of it. Damn it.
Yeah, I was sitting there going, I don't think Once Upon a Time's going to win much except for supporting actor, but I know that like everybody, when they were shooting that week in Hollywood and they had transformed the block, the amount of pictures I saw, like in Hollywood, they got to pay tribute to Hollywood somewhere. So yeah, I definitely was like, I think this will be where they slump a little more praise on there.
I gotta say, okay, I'm going to talk about Toy Story and Irishman in a second. Look, I am sick of a couple of things right now when it comes to
Toy Story and the Irishman.
No more Toy Story movies. Okay, Martin especially when you watch these Hollywood roundtables, this question of Scorsese said superhero movies. When's that conversation going to die down? It's over now. And another thing, people are always making jabs at the Irishman being so damn long, and circles I run into of people constantly saying like, I just don't have the time to watch it. And I know damn well we live in binge watch society right now.
You can pack away 6 episodes of a sitcom.
Exactly. People binge something for hours.
Yeah.
Hours. And there are movies sometimes where I do have to stop it halfway through and I go, okay,
vomit.
Let me pick it up. Yeah, I gotta vomit, take a shit,
take a shower.
Then I go to bed and I finish it in the morning. Yeah. No, you guys can go fucking make time to watch The Irishman, or feel out when the midway point is and divide your watch into half. All right.
Dude, somebody made a joke about it. Like, I love the first season of The Irishman, and that's actually a good idea. Just cut it up into 42-minute chunks and watch it in 3 parts or 4 parts. Should we do another?
Yeah,
super?
sure.
Super duper. Totally random talk.
Whoa, you gotta do the megaphone.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's go with the high one.
Oh my God, John.
I know. We've written a lot of scripts. Greg writes a whole lot of scripts.
I actually have a meeting tomorrow to talk about further developments of a feature film screenplay that I wrote. And since it's the first one, it takes a long time to get these off the ground. Can't go into any more detail, but it's progressing. Yeah. But we got like $100 million already.
To get a first-time screenwriter on a project this big, it takes a little bit of paperwork.
Yeah. I mean, I try to write a little bit often. I mean, the sketches are one thing, but that's not really screenplays. But I've written a couple of like pilot presentations, and this is the first screenplay I've written that's actually going places. It's a lot. I don't talk a lot about it because it's easy to see from the outside perspective of like, it's probably not going anywhere. He talked about this like a year ago.
When in reality, movies take forever.
Yeah, some of the Uncut Gems took 10 years to get off the ground. And I don't want it to take 10 years. It's making a lot of developments. I don't really want to go into it. I'll tell you, it's a psychological horror film. It's not Get Out. It's not one of those. It's different.
Get Out. It's a white people remake of Get Out.
It's a reverse with the racists. Yeah. Bunch of black people auctioning off white people. Yeah.
Jumping inside their bodies to get all their privileges.
Great. Yeah.
Which, hey, I mean, anyway.
But yeah, and John writes too.
I write, lately on the regular, I write more short form and just other format things. It's been a while since I've really written a script, but I've got a lot of scripts on hand, shorts. I completed a feature-length Dance Revolution-based film script once, long time ago that we were.
God, that was like 12 years ago.
That was like 12 years ago. And now the movie The FP exists, which is basically what we wanted to do.
Thank you for the question, buddy. He's got a channel, right? He interviews people.
Yeah. Oh, little extra there.
You want to take this one?
No, you could say it.
I'm a quick blow.
From Aaron White.
Good. You are an always Sunny.
Yes, I was. I
Okay.
get messages about it all the time, and I get those $5 residuals every few months.
Ooh.
That's right, people.
Well,
Become an
yeah,
actor.
yeah, make
Take
a
care-
few
Take
cents
care of the bills. Am I right?
every year.
I really want to know the thoughts that Quentin Tarantino was having about not winning awards himself.
I did it.
Yeah.
He should have shown up in a t-shirt that just says "I did it" with like a Nike swoosh on it.
Toy Story 4, I'm so glad that won Best Animated Film. I was really happy. A lot of people were rooting for Missing Link. I haven't seen Missing Link. I know a lot of people.
haven't
Did you?
I haven't
A
either.
lot of people
no,
really
I
rooting
wanted
for that.
to.
I have not seen it, but it's pretty. But Toy Story 4, I love that. That was one of my favorite films of last year.
Yeah, Toy Story 4 was great. I got torn because Missing Link won the Golden Globe, and then Klaus won, I think, the Annie. And so
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, ooh, maybe they'll give it to Netflix here or something. And I was like, well, you know, at the Oscars, I almost wonder if they're going to take this chance to nod something, do a diversity thing. But since Missing Link already got it, I was like, maybe they'll go Klaus. But I should have seen Toy Story 4 coming.
So there were like random little notes I wrote down as I was watching the Oscars. I liked the Keanu Reeves and Diane Keaton speech, and I wrote down Bong Joon-ho ? Because when Keanu Reeves said his name,
No,
he said it like a question mark.
Bong Joon-ho.
He was like, Bong Joon-ho? It's like what? What was that? Yeah,
But
Bong
he had the
Joon-ho.
pronunciation, the front pronunciation. So I wonder, I wonder what was happening there.
Don't worry, guys. I blocked Romano because he's being a dick to so many people in the chat. So goodbye, dude. So let's see here. And actually, my career now is better than that one line.
Just since blocking Romano.
Sorry, I should have responded to his hate comment
Yeah.
first, and then I should. But he's been clowning on people in the chat and saying horrible things about Kobe and stuff. All right,
Oh.
so there was that line. The adapted script, right? The adapted script.
Yes.
When they showed the clip of Joker, I was like, why'd they show that clip when he's dancing? That's
part where
that's
they-
your screenplay moment
part
to show that?
Where they threw out the dialogue.
Yeah.
The part where they're like, we weren't sure what to do with this scene. So Joaquin was like, I got an idea.
Yeah. I did not understand that.
Yeah, I mean, it's that one was an odd pick, I think, overall, because it stretched the limits for me. I was like, it's adapted from like a well of source material, but it's pretty much an original story.
Yes. The Shia LaBeouf moment.
Oh, with the peanut butter falcon guy.
Guys, when I was watching it, I had a completely different, and there's some moms who have like come to his defense of people who have children with Down syndrome. But I was like, Shia LaBeouf worked for this kid, right? On Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
And some people read it as if he was being rude to him. And it became this whole like Twitter storm out of nowhere. And that's not at all how I read. I don't know how you guys read it, but that's not at all how I read it. It's like they were on a time limit. It seemed like he was being supportive. And if he ever laughed, it never seemed like he was laughing at him. It seemed more like uncomfortable laugh at situation, because it's like it's the Oscars, and at the end of the day, everyone, when you see people giving speeches and they're always looking up, it's because there's a counter there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're being like, get the fuck off stage.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
even for presenters like that, that's something where it seemed like he was trying to guide in a nice way, but I never thought he was rushing him or laughing at him or something like that, you know?
I'd have to watch it back for the new. Sorry, somebody shouted out your RM impression, and I'm very happy about that. But
Fight swing a muss.
do the rest.
We're
Of the
playing at the
stream.
Rose Bowl.
But
Playing at the Rose Bowl.
yeah, we should go. We should live stream
Playing
there.
at the Rose Bowl.
But I also think that he and that actor must have spent a lot of time together making that movie, and it seems like that movie already has a very personal, very heartfelt thing around it. So I feel like they were probably comfortable with each other too, and maybe that familiarity doesn't track on live TV. But again, I'd have to review that
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Shia LaBeouf was
You're
being
wrong.
mean.
Shia LaBeouf hates
him and brought him
people.
up there to humiliate
Yes.
him.
He's like, you know what?
That's what it was.
This will be great. No, he's like, this will be great press since a lot of people didn't come out and see the movie. Now I can insult this guy, and then people will support it because
yes. You know what else I loved? I love what happened at the end when Parasite won Best Picture.
Oh,
what was going on there?
that was the first time I've ever seen anything like that, and it made me really happy because I don't know who that was, but yeah, somebody else wanted to talk, and they had the mic go down, and they were doing the big wide shot, and everyone in the first row, I think, like they said Tom Hanks and a few other people were like,
oh yeah, they
like,
cut to them, but
bring the mic up.
I couldn't tell what was going on.
They were
I thought the lights went off on them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically they were like, "You're done," and now the time's over, and they were just kind of reshifting to get somebody else on the mic, and so everyone was just shouting up, up, up.
That was a great moment.
Like, yeah,
and I love seeing Bong Joon-ho just looking at his Oscar like, "Wow, I did it."
Yeah,
we all did it. Look at us. Yeah.
And his like that translator who's been with him is really getting her work in this season because she's been throwing down like every time this thing wins.
Yeah. But okay. And what else stood out to you guys in here? I love the live streams when people just start randomly like I don't block unless I can tell what they're doing.
Yeah. Here's this topic
like random shit. I'm like, what the hell's going on over here?
Here's a hot topic right now. Daniel Travis.
Can you see Leonardo DiCaprio as Lex Luthor?
Sure, but I would only see Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, but with his hair.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel Travis, but I don't think I would not personally want him. Actually, you know what? I think he could fucking pull that shit off.
The thing is,
I think about it. Yeah.
He wouldn't be the guy I would cast, but if they cast him, I'd be like, well, I gotta check out that performance. It'll probably be something interesting at the very least.
What do you think was going on through Margot Robbie's mind during the awards and the cut to her of like, man, Birds of Prey is getting a lot of bad box office talk this weekend. That's how I imagine Margot Robbie's inner voice sounds.
I wonder.
Margot Robbie.
Oh,
Margot Robbie is one of the most talented
Bomb.
people like in the industry. And if you guys haven't seen her, Hot Ones.
Yeah,
she's great in that. That was she's fantastic.
Excited to see that.
I just felt a little bad when they cut to her. Yes, thank you, Bradley, for mentioning that. There was a few people who were not mentioned at the Sid Haig was the one that came to mind for me. Did they say Kirk Douglas at that one?
They did.
Okay.
But we looked it up. There are a few people who got left off.
Yeah.
Who I should remember them, but there are a few people who got left off this year that were pretty big. And even like Sid Haig was recent, but there were some people who left. Like 90210. He was just in Once Upon a Time. He was on Riverdale.
Luke Perry
wasn't in there. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one. And the fact that they had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood nominated, you'd think they would have.
You'd think.
And Sid Haig has worked with Tarantino a few times, but Luke Perry, out of all of them, should have been the one.
Yeah.
They all should have, but yeah, that actually is pretty surprising.
But at least they unsnubbed us by putting a couple people in red jumpsuits in the intro song, which I thought Janelle Monáe did a great job.
She did,
and I liked
Billie Eilish's performance was great too.
Yeah, I like Billie and Phineas's performance a lot.
Oh, I forgot what
Cameron
happened.
Boyce,
yeah, something happened that I totally missed here.
Sid Haig, if closest point of reference recently would be Captain Spaulding in all of Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects movies, but he's been around forever making movies. He's done a whole bunch of like exploitation and blaxploitation stuff in the set. He's been acting from like the 60s, 70s on.
Yeah. Wow, the internet's a funny wormhole, isn't it?
It is a funny wormhole, G.
What else stood out to you guys in the Oscars? I mean, I
here?
watched the whole thing, so you just got to give me a quick reminder of certain things that occurred or little moments of.
Or was there anything else surprising? I guess I did well on sound this year.
Yeah.
I was confident in my picks and they went well.
Well, for film editing, that was the one I got for 4 I heard James Mangold wasn't even watching the Oscars. He was just like eating potato chips in the bar. Yeah.
I mean, I guess he doesn't really. I don't know. He doesn't need to be there. He's got enough else going on.
Maybe we talked about Brie Larson, Gal Gadot. You just got to rewind it a little bit.
Rewind it back.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up in just a minute. Oh, someone at the very beginning, before we even went live, gave a great tip about how to close out the videos. Been real talking with you guys.
It's been real
It's
talking with
been
you
real
guys.
Owen something. It's been real talking with you guys.
Shit's been real. Shit just got real.
Yeah. Shit got real. Yeah, us should have been nominated.
Us should
Eminem
have
was
been
one of the
nominated.
first thing we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that's pretty much Martin Scorsese was definitely not.
Martin Scorsese, I think, has become the go-to cut-to guy.
Everyone who knows me in the slightest bit knows I love Martin Scorsese is my favorite director, and Eminem is my favorite solo artist. But I was also like, why the hell is Eminem here?
Yeah.
I don't get why he's here. Who's he appealing to? And this is kept under wraps. So what is the point of having Eminem here? I don't get it.
Yeah, because I know that they are always in a conundrum to try and get more people to watch the ceremony, and they're always like, oh, the ratings each year. And so all I can think is maybe they surprise people with that so that next year the young people will come out, but also like it just seemed like a personal thing to Eminem almost. Like,
yeah. I'm not sure what it was, but Elton John winning I thought was beautiful too. I loved his speech.
Yeah, man.
That was really
great
beautiful.
speech.
I wish Eminem did come out during his speech.
And just perform stand.
Yeah.
just start a trend where there's no host, but Eminem creeps into the show every few nominees.
That would have been fun. What do you okay, really quick. I wanted to know from you guys, what did you think about a second year in a row with no host? Because I feel like that wasn't even a conversation this time. It's just something we've grown accustomed to. I personally am okay with it. I feel like it keeps the show focused and it ends a lot earlier. So I'm cool with them not having a host, but I'm curious to see some quick comments of like, were you guys cool without them having another host? What
do you think?
With this particular year?
What do you think?
In the meantime,
I like the no host angle generally. It may have been a little smoother last year, but Michael Roybal, let's do it.
Michael Roybal.
Oh,
thank you so much, buddy.
Let me get a little one in there. Just
no host is better. No host is better.
No host is better than Billy Crystal.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it. It's been real talking with you guys. I always come up with ways to end or phrases to how to say subscribe and hook people in, but then I forget about them because that's ultimately
you don't want to
not me.
repeat yourself and be gimmicky.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. It's fun seeing all the people talking with each other. Kim Wexler, by the way, halfway through season 3 of Better Call Saul now. So how you doing?
How you doing?
Much love to everyone. Oh, and who are the people who super chatted so we can shout them out again really quick?
Let's see. Yeah, let's go back to the control room.
We're gonna just shout you guys out really fast, and then we'll say good night, good day, good luck, whatever it's called. John.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna read random comments while John frantically searches because go to that section right there. No. Oh my God, we have no idea who super chatted. Just I bookmark everything, John. The one thing you should bookmark is this.
All right.
My God. Well, thank you guys in the pinned comment. Jesus, John. Here, John, talk to the crowd.
You doing this is only making me find it that much more slowly.
Talk to the crowd,
guys.
I just found it. There you go.
Oh wow, well done.
Jesus. All right, Carter Lovejoy. Thank you, buddy.
Carter,
Rob
Fun
Me Production. Oh, what am I doing?
Rob, Fun Me Productions, Aaron White, Daniel Travis, Neil Childs, Josh Wren, Daniel Travis again, Totally Random Talk, Aaron White again, Daniel Travis again, Michael Roybal.
So Daniel Travis is the MVP. Aaron White's in second place, and the rest of you ranked a cool third in terms of the super chatting the real rejects game.
This was fun. Hope you guys have a great night. Keep a lookout for more uploads this week. Peace out.
And that's a wrap.